Former Ripley County coach pleads guilty to sex charges involving a high school student. Chad Pindell admitted to having a sexual encounter at Jac-Cen-Del High School in Osgood. Local 12's Christian Hauser shows us the snag, though, that came up when it came time for the judge to weigh in here.
The sexual encounter happened behind me here at Jac-Cen-Del High School. It only happened once, but the prosecutor says that Chad Pindell groomed his victim for several weeks. Chad Pindell had been an assistant basketball coach at the school for the past 10 years. That's how he met the victim. Pindell and the victim chatted for a few weeks. After a practice last January, the victim and coach were alone in his office when a sexual encounter happened. Police found out about it and Pindell was charged with 2 felonies. Fast forward to today, and a plea deal had been reached.
We made a decision jointly, and that was based on a number of conversations of her not having to testify and her not having to appear in court, but yet some punishment for the individual that committed the crime.
The victim did not want to testify, but wanted Pindell to admit his wrongdoing. The prosecutor says she felt ostracized by her own town and that everyone blamed her.
He's the adult in this relationship and she is the child, and the law was specifically set up to protect those individuals.
Pindell walked into the courthouse with his family by his side. No cameras are allowed inside. The deal called for a guilty plea to the charge of child seduction, and the second charge would be dropped. Pindell would spend 9 months in jail and be on probation another 27. But the judge said no. The judge said the sentence for this crime is 1 to 6 years behind bars, with 3 being the recommended amount of jail time.
A lot of time and effort and a lot of consideration goes into coming to those plea agreements in a complicated case like this, and when the parties had all agreed to it, I think it set everybody back a little bit that we were not going to be able to complete the case today.
After the refusal of the judge to accept the deal, the attorney spent about an hour behind closed doors, and Pindell agreed to openly plead guilty in exchange for the second charge being dropped. Everyone will be back at the courthouse on February 7th for the sentencing. A pre-sentence investigation will happen between now and then, which will guide the judge's punishment. But based on what he said in court today, it sounds like he's pretty much set on 3 years. In VERSAILLES, Christian Hauser, Local 12 News.
We should note here that Ripley County prosecutor Eric Hurdle says that he believes this is the first case of a coach or teacher having a sexual relationship with a student in the county's history.